Sanju Verma, I don't know if you heard what Mita Banerjee said today, the Chief Minister. She had a press conference and she basically said two things. That the BJP is responsible for all the violence that has happened in her state. And B, she also said that the entire cycle of violence was based in one locality, was restricted to one locality called Bhangor. And she says that that was at the behest of the BJP. How do you respond?
You know, Zaka, you've raised a pertinent question. And before I come straight to the point, I would just like, for the benefit of your viewers, read out what the Kolkata High Court said today. This is what it said. The responsibility to ensure that there is no breach of peace lies with the state government. Obviously, Mita Banerjee in this case. If the state government is not in a position to safeguard its citizens, then it is a very serious matter to be taken note of. And yesterday, on the, yesterday what the Kolkata High Court said was, we have passed a series of orders. We have received 44 complaints via emails. Our registrar has received 44 complaints via emails about widespread violence. Despite our series of orders, why have you not been able to ensure free and fair polls, and the violence continues even after the elections are over? I think there could not have been a more stinging condemnation, a more stinging castigation of the fact that law and order has not only collapsed in West Bengal, it has taken a flying leap out of the window.
Okay.
Point number one. Point number two, you said, Mita Banerjee said it's limited to a very few pockets. I heard her press conference. She said, barring a few areas in Cooch Behar, there is no violence in North 24 Parganas, South 24 Parganas, Bankura, North Dinajpur, South Dinajpur. And I tell her that she is either blind or pretending to be so, because the violence has been widespread. And today's Kolkata High Court judgment says that there are petitions which have requested for repolling in as many as 50,000 booths. 50,000 out of the 62,366 booths that actually went into polling. 50,000 is not a small number by any stretch of imagination.
So anyway, the repolling was done for 600 plus booths. Let me ask Mohammad Tauseef Rahman. The point is, Mohammad, in the run-up to the polls, there was violence. On the last day of filing of nominations, there was violence. On polling day, there was violence. On counting day, there was violence. And even as we speak, it's continuing. And yet, you know, the state government is not owning up its responsibility. No one is saying that all the violence was instigated by the state or by state actors. But at the end of the day, the buck stops with you, the state government.
No, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's very heart-wrenching to see what Bengal has faced and this brutal conspiracy against the people of Bengal. The CM has announced a strict action against all those people who have been involved to do any kind of nuisance, whether they belong from TMC, BJP, CPM, ISF, whatsoever. But, you know, I would like to tell you, because TMC is such a party who is not so much proactive with dealing with rights and working with those people who have dealt with rights and who create rights, like Bharatiya Janata Dal party. You know, because we were not prepared that in Panchayat elections, some nuisance will come from somewhere and Suvendu Adhikari will support them, and people like Dilip Ghosh, I will tell you, you know, you need to see those videos. I mean, Dilip Ghosh in his statement with very confirmed, and he was like strict what he was going to say, that people coming from Bangladesh carrying AK-47 bombs and such arms and ammunition. My question is, like, if Dilip Ghosh, being an opposition leader, knows these things are coming from Bangladesh, so the BSF is under whom? The state government or the central government?
No, but once again, Mr. Rahman, you know, the bulk of the violence happened in Bhangor, right? And in Bhangor,
yes, of course,
it was not BJP versus TMC. In Bhangor, it was ISF versus TMC. It was independent Muslim candidates who had a problem with TMC and its official candidates who had a problem. So as much as you blame the BJP, and like I said, you're free to, you know, blame the BSF, free to blame the BJP.
I would like to clear the thought
process. But the epicenter of the violence was in Bhangor, where the BJP's role was limited. The violence was largely between ISF and TMC, or independent candidates and TMC.
I would love to clear the thought process, sir, not just to you, but to the viewers and whole India and the people of Bengal. You know what happened in Bhangor? The TMC worker was coming from his work late night, just before the nomination itself. And these ISF people, very few in numbers, again, I'm telling you, because you will charge me that when Tauseef, you are telling them that BJP is few in numbers, ISF few in numbers, then who's attacking them? But again, they were few in numbers and they attacked one TMC cadre, and the TMC cadre went hospital directly. Now the question is who's supporting ISF? It is very clear in Bhangor that ISF is backed by BJP. There are 6 independent candidates and you have the posters of that candidate asking for vote, which is clearly written, backed by BJP, ISF, Congress, CPN, everyone. So if you are supporting and if you have an alliance political party in West Bengal, why don't you come and declare that yes, we are working with CPM, we are working with ISF, we are working BJP together.
No, one second, Mr. Rahman, are you hearing what you're saying? You are saying that the violence was sponsored by BJP, Congress, CPM and ISF. They're all in one camp and the TMC is in the opposite camp. I mean,
absolutely right. Absolutely right.
It's bizarre to say the least. I mean, Congress, BJP
Absolutely
can't be
right.
in the same camp.
Absolutely
Anyway,
right.
let me ask. Let me ask Mita Chakraborti this.
One.
One second. Let me ask Mita Chakraborti this. Mita Chakraborti, I think one thing is very, very clear. Yes, the responsibility for the violence needs to be fixed, and the responsibility for the violence does stop with the state government. Just absolutely no two ways about it. But purely on the question of electoral relevance, electoral success, I think it's very clear now Bengal is becoming a two-horse race between the TMC and the BJP. The BJP may be in a distant second position, but it's a two-horse race. The Congress is nowhere in the picture, the CPM is nowhere in the picture, and neither is the ISF. You guys have been completely edged out of this contest.
I think on the contrary, first of all, good evening to all the fellow panelists and good evening to your viewers. On the contrary, the vote share difference between the BJP and the left and the Congress combined together, it has actually narrowed down as compared to what we saw in the last assembly election and the Lok Sabha election. But however, I don't think this was an election at all. So to take these results and to do any political analysis will obviously be very, very misleading. I want to make a larger point. We have a lot of political organizations, the state government, the state election commission, everyone coming and claiming that no one is responsible for violence. But fact of the matter is that 47 people have died in the state of West Bengal just for an election to take place. It reminds me of that movie, No One Killed Jessica. No one is responsible for violence and yet people are dying. It's very, very unfortunate. I think the first thing that needs to happen is we have to stop normalizing violence. We have to stop quoting figures from the past. If we at all want to change this atmosphere of fear and intimidation in the state of West Bengal, then and when we say we, political representatives from all political organizations need to get together. There has to be a political will, and we have to say that
but
no, we are not
Bengal is no stranger to political violence. Bengal has seen political violence right from the 60s when the Congress was in power, and through the 70s, 80s, and 90s when the CPM was in power, and now in the 2000s when the TMC is in power.
So by doing that, by constantly quoting figures from the past, we are in a way justifying violence. And my request to all people, to all media personalities, all politicians is let us stop this.
Okay.
In today's time and age, with such internet penetration, with such presence of media, digital media, social media, not even a single person should lose life just because an election has to take place in a state. That's ridiculous.
This sounds great from a pedestal, from a speaking
Saka,
position.
I'll explain you something.
No, one second. On national television, on reality, in reality, on ground, work has to be done. Law and order has to be instilled, and the police and the law and order machinery has to work on the ground. Not in a television debate with words and statements. And for that, accountability is very clear. The accountability stays with the state government.